Here's a simple test for you. Would you rather live a life that fulfills you and energizes you and makes you excited about what's about to come? Or would you rather strangers online or on the street that you only interact with for 30 seconds or less think that you are a good girl or a good boy? Because that's the key question with people pleasing. So, story time. A few years ago, I was about to ask for my very first raise. And I was so nervous about it that I had to write out a whole script for it and recite it multiple times before my performance review call. And I got to a point where I genuinely memorized the whole script, like word for word. And yet, even with the script memorized, when the call started, my neck went cold, my feet went freezing, I was sweating profusely because I was genuinely scared of what was happening. I read the lines I had rehearsed, and afterwards, and by the way, the call went well and I got my raise, but afterwards I sat there in this frozen state for a while. Because what I was doing during that call was something my body was perceiving as genuinely dangerous. What I was actually doing was breaking away from people pleasing. And I was in such a hypervigilant state because I had never learned before that standing up for my boundaries should be the norm. So now I want to talk about why this happens, what's underneath all of this, and how to start getting out of it. So most people, when they talk about people pleasing, they frame it as a personality trait. Like, oh no, I'm such a people pleaser, I'm too nice, I care too much about what people think. But trust me, it's more complex than that. People pleasing is not a personality trait, which should come as a relief because there's nothing you can do with this is who I am mindset. And it is, in fact, a complex fear that is twofold. On the surface, it is the fear of rejection. You disregard your own boundaries because you're afraid that if you state them, the other person will leave you, will reject you, will fire you, will walk away. But that fear of rejection is itself triggered by another fear, and that fear is about the idea that you cannot deal with the world on your own. So it's sort of like a fear of incapacity. People who people please at work are not just afraid of getting fired. They are afraid if they do get fired that they will never find another job. They will not be able to pay their bills. They will not survive, basically. People who people please in relationships, in an argument, are afraid that if their partner leaves or if their friend stops talking to them, they will not be able to handle their life by themselves. You do not trust that you can handle the world on your own, and that reframe helps because once you see the root cause behind it, you can actually start working on it. Back to that raise story. I read the script, I asked for the raise, I survived. The second time I asked for a raise, it was a tiny bit easier. The third time, easier still. And looking back now, I can say that that's how I was confronting that fear of incapacity step by step. Every time I asked for something I wanted at work and survived the asking, my body learned a little bit more that I could handle the world, that I would not collapse if someone said no or if a conversation was uncomfortable. And that took years, and let me emphasize it once again, years. And I'm being so picky about it right now because I think a lot of content on people pleasing implies that you can fix it in a weekend with the right reframe, but that has not been my experience. The fix is uncomfortable and it takes a lot of time. And it's mostly about doing the thing you're afraid of again and again until your body learns to stop perceiving it as dangerous. So if you're watching this and you have been working on your own people-pleasing tendencies for a while and you feel like nothing is changing, you're probably wrong. Something is changing. It's just changing on a scale that is hard to see from the inside. Now onto the practical part. So the work actually happens in two directions. The first is building your confidence, actually training yourself to feel capable. The second is being okay with the fear that shows up once you start acting differently. So let's start with confidence. And another comforting thought is this: confidence is a skill. You're not born with it. We tend to think of confidence as something you either have or you don't. But actually, confidence, like empathy, like emotional intelligence, like any other supposedly innate quality, does not come pre-built. You have to work on it. And here are the practices I like to use. Practice number 1. The third person letter. You're going to write about yourself from the point of view of someone else. Maybe a friend, maybe a random person who just met you and likes you. And you're going to write down their genuine impression of you, the qualities they would notice. Things like, oh, this person has changed her life so many times, it's genuinely impressive. Or this person has such a nice voice, or this person is so skillful at her job. Mental qualities, physical qualities, things you have done, things about your attitude, anything. The only rule is you have to fill an A4 page. The whole thing, you cannot stop early. Once it is full, you read it back. But this time, instead of saying this person is, you replace it with I am. I have changed my life so many times, it's genuinely impressive. I have a very nice voice. I am very skillful at my job. And as you read each line, you try to actually tap into the feeling of amazement the writer of the letter had. And we do it because we get too familiar with our own experience, our own lives, our own bodies, and that makes us sort of numb to the good things we actually have. The practice is about borrowing someone else's eyes for a minute so you can see yourself clearly again. Practice number 2. The alter ego practice. So if you have a performance review coming up and you want to ask for a raise, you first journal as your current anxious self. I do not know if I can ask for this. What if they say no? What if it is awkward? And then you switch perspectives. Why are you nervous? You have been working at this company for over a year. You have achieved X and Y. You're genuinely good at your job. You let her argue your case. And you keep coming to this practice as often as you need to. If you need to do it every day for a number of days, then fine, you do that until you are more comfortable with that new perspective of yourself. Practice number 3. Build confidence from within. Okay guys, listen. Our minds do not exist in a vacuum. The mind-body connection is real, and mental confidence has a very much physical foundation. The easiest example is strength training, but it doesn't have to be about the gym. It can be about stretching if stretching feels uncomfortable to you. It can be about jogging if jogging is your thing. It can be about holding a pose in yoga if normally you would drop out of it. The point is, you push through the feeling of discomfort, and every time you do it, your body learns a little bit better about how capable you are. And naturally, the more you do it, the more you strengthen this belief in your own confidence. Next time you ask for a raise, it is not nearly as scary. And now the second part of this practice, aka sitting with this feeling. And in my humble opinion, this part is not get talked about enough. Because what I believe in is you can do all the journaling, you can write the most beautiful letter to yourself, you can have the most beautiful conversations with your alter ego, but unless you start acting differently, none of this will matter. That's my problem with journaling. Journaling is only as effective as it is connected to real-world action. When it is the push that helps you do the uncomfortable thing afterwards. But when it becomes the whole practice, when you journal instead of acting, instead of asking for what you want, then in my humble opinion, again, it stops being a tool and it becomes a very sophisticated form of escapism. It might feel productive, sure, it makes you feel like you're in control, but the next time you have an uncomfortable conversation and you still fold, nothing has actually changed. And that's why the second pillar is doing the thing you're afraid of while afraid. You do not wait until the fear goes away. You do not wait until you're ready. You start acting like this new version of yourself, even if you do not feel like her yet. And here, a good reminder is being brave does not imply absence of fear. Being brave means acting even though you're afraid. And yes, it's going to feel scary because it's new, and new things are always scary, especially if they go against an autopilot you've been running on for years. But that fear is not something you need to push away or wait out. You need to let it exist and act anyway. The more you sit with it, the less of a grip it has on you. And I have talked about this fear paradox in one of my previous videos, and I will link it up here and in the description box below so you can go and check it out. And this is the work that actually compounds. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. Does it take years to master? Absolutely. But it's also what works in the long term. Before we wrap up, I also want to mention that while you work on people-pleasing, you should not expect perfection from yourself. It's very unlikely that you will reach a stage in your life where you're absolutely and ultimately free from people-pleasing. It's just not natural. We as humans are social creatures, and some form of people-pleasing is just a part of who we are. In fact, there is a clinical term for people who never ever people-please, and they're called sociopaths, and we do not want to be that. So I highly encourage you not to chase perfection. We do not need to be perfect to be good, kind, decent human beings and enjoy our life. And if you look at me through the screen and you feel like, oh, she has it all figured out, I have absolutely not, okay? I'm not perfectly healed and I'm fine with it. It's been getting better with each year for me, but still, every day I find something new to work on and I am okay with it. For example, when I first got together with my partner, he was so much more comfortable with arguing than I was. He was much more grounded in his own needs and his own values, which is super healthy, but I was so not used to it. So every time we had an argument, I would freeze. What if I say the wrong thing? What if this argument ends us? What if voicing my needs means he will leave me? I had to do a lot of LARPing as that new version of myself at the moment, and trust me, it was so uncomfortable. But now, years later, I can stand up for my boundaries without flinching. It is just how I talk now. But I still have my people-pleasing moments, so no, I'm not fully healed now. 9 out of 10s, I will stand my ground, and then on the 10th time, I will fold. And honestly, I'm okay with that. Because again, the goal was never to be perfect. That is not even healthy. The goal is just to keep approaching your life with curiosity, to keep asking yourself, okay, why am I doing this? Is this even serving me? That is an ongoing practice and it does not need to stop. And this is it. Let me know in the comment section if you found this video useful. Like and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this one. And as always, I wish you a great day and I will see you next time. Bye bye.